What's going on, y'all? It is Tuesday, December 6th. We are back in the shop this evening. Got Pops over here. And got a little project in the shop. We've got a couple projects coming up. We've got our chassis pushed over to the side. It's on a roll around cart so we can move it out of the way. And what this is a friend of ours, Crate Racing USA modified sportsman car. It is a GRT copy chassis. And some people will recognize this car, some of our friends and family. This chassis was in here a couple of years ago, and we actually updated the engine mounts underneath and braced some under the oil pan and stuff. It had been bent, and the motor was actually pulling the mounts down in this chassis. So we redone all that a couple of years ago. Frankie, the guy that owns this car, is this past season was his first season ever in a race car, in a dirt car. And his brother Kelly actually had this car when we repaired it the first time. Kelly passed it on to Frankie, and now Kelly, I believe, is in a impressive chassis. Yeah. And so we're gonna do some work on this, and I'll turn the camera around and show y'all what we got going on. This will be a little quick fix this evening. We'll get it knocked out because we actually have some more projects coming in tomorrow. And then once those are done, we have a big project coming in first of next week. But we'll get into that later. Y'all hang tight. We're going to show y'all what we're going to do tonight. All right, y'all. So what we got going on is Frankie got into a little wreck at Moulton Speedway at the end of the season. And what we've got to do is cut this upper control arm mount off. It's actually pulling away from the frame in here, ripping the top of the factory frame rail. And it pulled the frame up and ripped it out kind of. So what we're going to do is cut all this out. More than likely, what do you think? Take some flat bar?
Yeah.
We'll probably cut this out and take some 4-inch 3/16 flat bar we've got and plate this whole section. Cut this mount off and put the mount back on top of that plate so it'll be stronger. We also noticed his shock is rubbing the upper right here on the tube. So more than likely what we're going to do is come in here and cut this shock mount off and cut back right here on this spring pocket. You can see down in here it's been cut a little bit before, but he's got a lot of room before it ever gets to the spring. So we're going to clearance this spring pocket right here a little more, and then we'll take this shock mount, cut this off right here at this weld, and then we'll just move this shock mount back, let that shock lean on in a little bit, get a little more angle on it, and that'll get it away from this tube right here. Well, I'm gonna set y'all up. We're gonna do a time lapse. Pops, you ready?
We're ready.
All right, y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all, so we got the old mount cut off. You can see I cut out the frame of where the mount was. Stock frames are only like an 1/8 inch thick material. They're not real thick. So what we're gonna do, this is 4-inch 3/16 flat bar. And I'm just gonna trace what I cut out, and then I'll take that piece, weld it on the frame, box it back in, smooth it all up, and then we'll get this mount cut off and cleaned up, put it back where it was, weld it good inside and outside, and it'll be stronger than it was on the stock frame rail. We'll get something done now. Shop help has arrived. What are you doing? You decided to come get to work finally? No? Oh, okay. All right, y'all, so we got our piece made. We got it cut out. We got it all tacked in. I'm gonna get that welded up, and I'll do a time lapse of getting that welded up, and then we'll grind it smooth a little bit, make it look good, and then we'll get our brackets tacked on and get those welded on, and then I'll pick back up from there. We got a different plan we're gonna do for the shock clearance, so we'll explain that here in a minute. we got all that welded up. Now we'll clean it up. Clean up these tacks where I had my piece of metal on there to hold it and the ground to. What we're gonna do is, this isn't hitting much. Instead of going through the trouble of cutting all this shock mount off and grinding all this spring pocket out, we'll have to take all the suspension back and lay it back. We've decided that we're gonna take this mount, since this time has a lot of adjustment and we have some adjustment here and over here, we're gonna take this mount and kind of move it out a little bit toward the front of the car. And that'll give us our shock clearance, plenty of shock clearance, because it's just barely brushing it out on travel. And that way we don't have to do all the cutting and grinding. And the shop help shows up when all the welding's done. But we'll get this knocked out, get this car buttoned up so he can come get it tomorrow. Like I said, we got some more projects coming in tomorrow. Stay tuned. All right, so we got all welded back on. Got the plate cleaned up. Got the bracket all welded back on. We barely moved it here. He has plenty of adjustment to get his camber all set back. We just loosened up this bolt and let it swivel a little bit and moved toward the front of the car just a hair, just to get more shock clearance here. It didn't need much, it was just scuffing it. So should be plenty. What do you think?
I think it's good.
All right.
It's real good.
So there's that. We're gonna throw some black paint on it for him. Put the wheel and tire back on, and the old GRT copy will be ready to go. What's going on, y'all? It is Thursday, December 8th. We are back in the shop this evening. Frankie came and picked up his car yesterday, and this car behind me is another Harris. This actually belongs to Blake Hen, a buddy of mine, Blake. He just got the body done on it. Eli Gibson, bodies by Eli. Young guy, he's just now doing bodies. Done a real good job. It's very clean, very nice body. And Blake brought the car to us. We actually owned this car, and we sold it to a friend of ours who then sold it to Blake. And Blake's been putting it together for this next season. Blake was actually in a Hoffman last year, this past season, his first year in a race car. He done really well. I think he was top 10 Crate Racing USA points. And so he jumped in this Harris, getting it ready for next year. And what we're going to be doing, I'll turn the camera around. We'll show y'all what we're going to be doing to it. All right, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building Blake a windshield bar to go in here. And we put tabs on this chassis when we had it before. And the reason we put tabs on it is because we actually raised the halo in this car about 2-3 inches maybe, just for a little more headroom. Pop's over there banging on stuff. He's getting measurements on a back bumper. We got to build a back bumper for this car. So Pops is measuring our bumper to kind of get an idea. Our bumper is actually too wide for this car, so we're going to get some tubing. And that's why I'm going ahead and making this video today, just showing the projects we got going. We'll get some tubing. Today's Thursday. We'll get some tubing tomorrow or Saturday, and we'll get busy. I think Blake has a front bumper we're going to mount for him. That was made by Dowdy, Mark Dowdy. Dowdy Welding and Fabrication. Y'all check that Mark out. He's got chassis dollies, engine racks, anything you want, you name it, he's got it. So we're going to be doing the windshield bar. We're going to be doing the back bumper. And once we get the back bumper and the windshield bar done, then we've got to do a door bar behind this passenger door right here. Blake brought us this car a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe. A few weeks ago, we actually done some welding. We put tabs. We went ahead and put tabs on the chassis for the door bar, but just in preparation for this moment right here. So Blake's been steadily working on getting this car together, and I think he's done a real good job. He actually had this car stripped, and he took it and had it powder coated this real nice gray color. I actually like that charcoal gray. Mike Ellis in Tupelo, Mississippi done that, and it looks real good. And we added when we raised the halo, we added these head support bars, just some more safety added to the chassis. But yeah, it looks real good. We got Blake's in here, and we'll get started on this jewel here and get it knocked out the next day or so. And then the Impressive that we spoke of that Kelly owns, Frankie, the one that had the last car, his brother Kelly that has the Impressive, he's going to be bringing it in for repairs. Actually, pretty big job. 4-bar brackets and stuff on it are kind of bent up, so we'll be redoing those. And that's the projects we got going. Our car's just kind of over there lonely in the corner. We'll get to it. We like to help others out as much as we can, so we get everybody else rolling. They got the Ice Bowl coming up January, 3rd week of January?
Yeah.
2nd week of January?
January.
Yeah, Ice Bowl, Talladega Speedway. A lot of these guys are going down there to run, so we like helping out. A lot of this work that we do in the shop actually helps us put parts on our cars. So most of this work that we do, we actually trade for parts. If any of these guys have stuff laying around that they don't need, we gladly trade work for parts to get our car going. That's just kind of how we are. It helps our pocketbook out. So we hope y'all stay tuned. We just wanted to show what we got going on. Well, that's going to be it for this video. And we've got a lot more stuff coming up. I mean, we've got the Impressive to work on. The big project I've been talking about, I'll just kind of hint around about it. It's a complete roll cage build in a pure stock. It's going to be a Camaro leaf spring car. It's a friend of ours. He ran late model past couple years, sold his late model, and he just wants to get in the pure stock and just kind of play. And I guess with prices and everything of racing, y'all know, everybody out there knows how parts and tires and fuel and everything's so high right now. So he's just wanting us to put together a pure stock for him, and we'll be doing a whole full roll cage on it. That'll be a big couple of week project, so we'll have a lot of content coming from that. We just wanted to update y'all. I'm going to end off this video right here. Y'all stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think.
Appreciate you watching.
See y'all.